Welcome to Between the Shelves, the premier Save a Library podcast. I am your host, Alex, and I am joined once again by our library director, Jenn. Welcome, Jenn.
Thank you for having me, Alex.
Thank you for coming. And the head of teen services, Marianne.
Hi, I'm glad to be back.
Thank you for coming. So this is a What Are You Into episode, a little bit lighter than our last episode. So we're going to talk about what we're into right now. I have a lot to talk about. So do you mind if I go first?
Oh,
Go ahead.
Yes.
Okay.
Is it video games?
It's one of my things is a video game,
Okay.
but I already talked. Okay, so I'll just do that one
Just kidding.
very
I'm just
quickly.
teasing you. Because I know you love video games. I'm just teasing.
This isn't a video game that I'm playing. This is a video game I made.
Oh, okay. That's like
I-
next level.
Yeah, I've talked about this in a couple of episodes, but my game is officially released. It was released September 26th, which is
Congratulations.
Yesterday.
yesterday
Oh, how
at the time
exciting.
of the recording.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Took almost 2 years to make in my off time. It was a labor of love. I'm glad to be done with it. But yeah, I'm excited. It's out officially.
Can you share the name of it with us?
It's called Pulpergeist. So it's like a
Okay.
pulp novel, ghost detective sort of story.
That sounds fun.
It's reminiscent of like old Game Boy games. So if you think like that style graphics,
Right.
it's sort of an adventure puzzle game. So you're in like a haunted house and you're investigating a mystery.
You're amazing, Alex.
Go on.
All right, you're super amazing. That's very impressive.
So yeah, I'm happy to be done with that. I'll put a link in the show notes if you want to look into it further. But that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. The next thing I want to talk about, this was a book recommendation from my wife. It's one of her favorite books of the year. It's called Tom Lake by Anne Pratchett. Have you heard of this one?
I have heard
I
of
have
it.
heard of this too, but I did not read it.
So I have never read a book by Anne Pratchett before, and I'll say right at the gate, this is not a book I would normally read.
Yeah, I wouldn't peg you for reading, yeah.
No, but my wife was raving about it, and I try to read as many of her recommendations as I can. She's a voracious reader. I can barely keep up with her. But I read it, and it's very good. Again, I wouldn't really say it's in my wheelhouse. I don't know if I'll be returning to Anne Pratchett. We'll see. But it is a very good book. It's from the perspective of a woman whose 3 daughters all moved back into her farmhouse during the pandemic, so the whole family's together again. And through the slip of her tongue of her husband, her daughters find out that the woman used to date a very famous actor. And so the story kind of unfolds where it's the woman telling the story of her as an aspiring actress growing up and meeting this famous then not famous but now famous actor, and their sort of love affair and that whole story. So it's a very charming, it's a very warm, tender story about family, about what's really important in life. It's a very cozy book. I think it's
like
gonna
very
be-
interior about the relationships.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I love that.
I think
That sounds like right up my
it's a
alley.
great one. Fall is rapidly approaching. The leaves are starting to fall. I think it's a good fall cozy book you can read with a cup of coffee and a blanket. So yeah, I won't go too much into it. And there's nothing I can really spoil. But there's one other thing I wanted to mention about the book. So the woman, when she is telling her story, she's an actress in a play of the play Our Town, which is a famous play by Thornton Wilder. So the themes of the book line up with the play Our Town, and actually the way it's told is sort of similar to Our Town as well. So I knew that going into the book, so I watched Our Town,
Right.
which you can watch the whole play with Paul Newman is actually the lead actor in it. The whole play is available on PBS and YouTube. You can watch the whole thing. It's a free to watch, and it's excellent. I really, really liked Our Town.
Is that the first time you've seen
First
the
time I've
presentation
seen
of
it.
that? Yeah.
Yeah, it's so if you're unfamiliar with Our Town, it's sort of vignettes of the lives of inhabitants of this small town in New Hampshire, and it kind of jumps around through time, and it sort of circles around this one character whose name I believe is Emily, and her sort of falling in love with her high school sweetheart, having their child, and then her death.
Right.
Not really spoiling anything
Right.
there. So the theme of the story is sort of about, cherishing the small moments in life, because once you're dead, you can't that's when you'll really appreciate all those small moments. And it's the last act of the play is sort of Emily dead, looking back on her loved ones and wishing that she could be there with them again, and saying how she would give anything even to just have repeat the worst day of her life again, because even that has magic in it. So it's a really warm,
I enjoy
tender
that
story.
technique. I've read many stories there's a story within the story that's paralleling or using a classic like Our Town, or it could even be loosely based on a Shakespearean, sonnet or something. But I do like sometimes when they're hidden in there and they're like, oh, I see why this is, and it's really nice. Really discussion.
I appreciate that more than like retellings of classics where they just like make a modern version of it. I like when they're using a classic as inspiration.
Right.
Using it as the theme
clearly
of it.
There's parallels, but it's not the same story.
Yeah.
With just, cell phones in it. Or something
exactly.
Right.
But I really liked it. And one famous thing about Our Town, the play, is it breaks the fourth wall constantly. The main narrator, he's the stage manager is his title. So he's always talking directly to the audience. And he'll even say, like, okay, now's time for a break. So go smoke your cigarettes or something outside.
Right. Yeah.
So that I really like that about Our Town. And then that sort of narrative device carries over into the Anne Pratchett novel as well, because the mother is telling the story to her children, and the audience, the reader, is a surrogate for the children. So the author is sort of talking to you directly, the reader, at times.
Right. Which is kind of disarming, but exciting, because that's not something you get in a lot of fiction books.
Yeah, this is not like a meta-narrative postmodern novel that's trying to like confuse you or play mind games. It's
very straightforward.
Yeah, exactly. So those are my recommendations. Our Town. You can definitely read Tom Lake without watching Our Town, but I think it adds a lot to reading the book.
It.
So I would recommend watching it and then reading the book. Okay. So that's my what am I into right now. I have one other thing to talk about, I think, but that's the bulk of it.
Okay, good. I have two things that I can talk about. So I'll start with the heavier one first. I just read a really great graphic novel called The Talk by Darrin Bell, and this is a 2023 graphic novel that just came out. And Darrin Bell is a Pulitzer Prize winning cartoonist. He is mixed race. His mom is white, his dad is black, and when Darrin is young, I forgot where he grew up, but when he was young, he asked for a water gun. He begged for a water gun so that he could play with the other kids his age, and his mom got him a neon colored one, and he was upset that it wasn't realistic. So his mom had to have the talk with him about how being a person of color, how he'll be perceived differently his whole life. And he was about 6 or 7 when he had that conversation with his mom. So now Darrin, goes on, he grows up, he goes to school, and it's about his journey from youth to adulthood and his lifetime of dealing with microaggressions and outright prejudice. And then as Darrin gets older, he becomes a dad, and it's full circle. He has to have the talk with his own child. And the narrative is artfully interweaves flashbacks, pop culture, current politics. The graphics are beautiful. It's just a really, really great graphic novel. So if you like graphic novels, it's really, you would really like it. And, I think it's really important as, I am a white person. I think it's important that I read books like this. I like, more people need to read books like this to see how it is growing up as a person of color. It's very different from our own. And, I read a lot of stuff in there that I was not really aware of how, people of color feel when they're growing up. And just how different his childhood is from other kids. So that was really good. And then, of course, I've talked about this before. The other thing that I want to talk about is Heartstopper, because I love this show, and I talked about it on our LGBT June episode. Based on a
graphic novel also,
That is based on, the series by Alice Oseman. And they had season 2 was just released a month ago on Netflix. And Alice Oseman is part of the production, so everything is really beautifully done. She writes each of the episodes, and it is just one of the best series for young people that I've ever seen out there. And season 1 and season 2 they're just so great. they really show a healthy example of a romantic relationship that I've ever seen on TV. And so I was raised with like 90210 and watching soap operas in the 80s and 90s. And, you know, there was really nothing healthy about any of the relationships that were portrayed in there. But this relationship between these two boys, and it doesn't even matter the sexual orientation, anybody could relate to it. The respect that they give each other, the communication that they give each other, the constant asking if, you know, are you okay? And they're always checking in with each other. And it's just really, you know, really, really great. And I have a lot of teens right now, young teens that love it and like are devouring it. And I just think it's just really great for anyone to watch. And as a much older person that I am watching like this teen series, it just gives me hope that there are good things for kids to watch out there, that it's not all garbage. And, you know, I don't know if my kids would ever like it, but I'm going to try when they're a little bit older, be like, hey, you know, this is how you treat people in a relationship. And the music is amazing. They have the official playlist on Spotify. It's so good. I've discovered like some really great music that I've never heard of before from that. The cinematography is beautiful. Colors, the directing, just the position of everyone. I mean, it's really, really well done.
Yeah, that's Netflix, right? You said?
It's Netflix, yeah. And I recommend it all the time. So.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah.
How about you, Jen?
Okay, so I was looking through my reading list as you guys were talking, and I have not read a good book in a long time. I've read a lot of really mediocre books, so we're not going to talk about them. The last great book that I read was in the summer, and I believe this title came up before, A Visit from the Goon Squad by Jennifer Egan. Our assistant director recommended it to me. We read it simultaneously. And what a treasure of a book. It's a National Book Critics Circle winner. It was a big bestseller. It came out in 2019. I don't even know how to explain. I don't know what the genre is, other than it's basically how a host of characters whose paths intersect at different periods in their lives. And it just was, I was so sad when it was done, because it was done. And that's the best... I feel praise that I can give a book that I was really sad. So it's called A Visit from the Goon Squad by Jennifer Egan. Look it up, see if it interests you. It didn't interest me at all. It didn't grab me reading the description, but I wanted to read it because this other person had recommended it, and I was so glad we did. So
can I interrupt you for a second, Jen? Yeah. Did you read the second novel by Jennifer Egan, which I'm trying to find
after this
name of it? Yes. So it's a lot of the same characters, and I actually read it. I never read the Goon Squad one, but I did read the other one, and I'm just searching through my Goodreads list for it. But I read over 100 books last year. Then. It is a 2022. And Alex is looking at The Candy House. Yes, right, that's it.
Thank you.
And so I read that one. I didn't read the Goon Squad, and I did like it, but there was a lot of references to the these characters.
Right. So great. So I'll be excited to visit these characters
like
again.
It. Yes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
As far as what I'm watching, from one of our first episodes, right? I'm a British mystery crime devourer. So I just finished the Endeavour series on PBS. It's 9 seasons, and the 9th season was the last one. It took me 1 weekend. No, I'm kidding. It took me several weeks to get through the series, but it was just it's a prequel series to Inspector Morse, which is also available, I think, on PBS. I had not watched that original series, but apparently it was massively popular in England. It just has eluded me, but this Endeavour, just really, really well done and great acting. And each episode is about an hour and a half, so they're like mini movies. And it's the format where you are learning all about the characters all along the way through all of the seasons. And each episode, though, is one standalone story, so you can kind of pop in anytime and just they solve the mystery in an hour and a half. But really great stuff. One of my favorite shows is back. Unforgotten, season 5. This was another series that I get on PBS. It's on Masterpiece
show. Something major happened at the end of season 4, and I did not know how I was going to handle season 5, but it's just as good as ever and renewed for another season. So if you're looking for, this is when they solve mysteries that are over 30 or 40 years old.
So they're very old unsolved cases. And there is a different format there. The whole season is about one case. So it's a much more projected look. You really deep dive into it. So those are my 2 English shows. 2 other things quickly. My son is getting married next month. So that has been, yay, congratulations to the bride and groom. And so we've been kind of deep in the wedding planning. That's taking up a lot of time, but we're very excited and thrilled. And the final thing I just want to mention is going to give a plug out to Alicia Keys has a new musical coming out.
Oh.
And for all of you Broadway fans, it's called Hell's Kitchen, and it's biographical based on her life. It's going to be some of her most famous music combined with new songs. So it is opening at the end of October at the Public Theater in New York, which is the theater that Hamilton started at. So it's a pretty big off-Broadway venue.
Oh, that's
and
off-Broadway?
It opens off-Broadway. These are kind of previews, and then everything indicates that this is going to be the next big thing for Broadway. Let's hope. So I do have a friend who is in the show. So shout out to Tim he is a professional dancer, and his dance company is working on this show with Alicia Keys. So yesterday he posted on Instagram with Alicia Keys, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm like only 1 degree away from Alicia Keys now. So
really close, yeah.
Somehow I made it about me. But anyway, so check it out, because I think it's going to be great. If you're an Alicia Keys fan, keep an eye on it. I think it's going to be something special. And it's nice to hear some new stuff coming to Broadway. So Hell's Kitchen, Alicia Keys.
All right, nice. One last really quick thing that I'm into right now. So next episode of the podcast, Peter and I are going to be discussing horror movies. So Peter's a big horror fan, and I watch a lot of movies. So it's going to be a really interesting conversation, and we're going to be discussing. We found 25 categories of horror films, and we're going to be talking about our favorite pick from all 25 categories. It's a 2-part episode because we go long.
I can't wait to hear that one.
It's going to be great, just in time for Halloween.
Great. Yeah, perfect.
And then after that, we're going to be celebrating the 100th anniversary of Disney. So we are going to be doing a quick review of every single animated Disney movie in rapid succession. And I mean rapid.
Like quick fire.
Like one sentence.
Because we have 40 movies to cover. And we're going to be trying to keep each review under 2 minutes.
Wow.
So that's going to be also a 2-part episode.
Super fun.
So I've been watching a lot of movies in preparation.
At least the Disney ones you could watch with your son.
Yes.
Not the horror, but the Disney.
But the horror,
ones,
like what the juxtaposition there, like you go from the Little Mermaid to the Grudge.
You don't want to look in my brain right now.
Both great movies, though.
Oh, I'm into the horror movies. It's scary, but that's
Yeah.
you're all over the
I
place.
got a
It's great.
twisted mind right
Yes,
now.
it's great.
Really.
Can't
So
wait to listen.
definitely check out those episodes coming up. All right, Jenn, Marianne, thank you both so much again for being on the podcast.
Thank you, Alex.
All right.
Thanks, Alex.
Bye.
Bye.